Good morning, Trinity. Blessed to be here with you this morning, and I thank the Lord for equipping us with the technological advances so that we can still worship and abide in Him despite all the chaos in the world erupting around us. And that brings me to the point of my devotion this morning. God desires for us to live in an abundant life, and He invites us to have that abundant life. And Jesus even tells us this in John 10:10. I've come to give life that we may live it to the fullest. Well, you know the saying, live, laugh, love, is a secular saying that its intent is to challenge us to maintain a joyous, full, balanced life. But the problem is we live in a world that are filled with challenges, sorrows, trials, sadness, and disappointments. God's invitation to the abundant life does not mean that we will be without those things. It is part of the world. In fact, to the contrary, Jesus tells us in John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you might have peace. In this world you will have troubles. But then He says, take heart, I have overcome the world. So despite the troubles, despite the trials, the sadness, the sorrows that the world brings, if we abide in Jesus, we can have His peace and abundant life in Him. So the secular saying of live, laugh, love fails to produce what it intends, because we must abide with Jesus and in Him to have that peace and have that abundant life. Forging ahead into that abundant life and out of that circle of chaos and fear around us takes a lot of courage, because we're bombarded daily with troubled news reports, with all the negativity coming at us from every media direction, and even from in conversations you may have with your neighbor. But we can't permit that fear to permeate into our minds, taking control over our lives, because Satan would like nothing more than to keep us in that fearful state. Because see, when we hold ourselves in that fearful state and focus on the world, it keeps us from focusing and stepping into Jesus's peace, into abidance with Him, where we receive that abundant life. Deuteronomy 31:6 tells us, be completely strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That is a huge comfort, knowing that. I don't know about you folks, but that's a huge comfort to me to know that He is right with me, even when it seems like everything is dark and scary. He's right there, and I'm not to be afraid because He is going before me. So the question is, will we accept Jesus' invitation into peace and the abundant life, or will we try to live, laugh, love on our own accord, failing to achieve that abundant life and living in fear? So I pray this with you this morning, and it comes from Ephesians 1, and it's 18 through 20. I pray that the eyes of your heart might be opened, that you might know the hope to which He has called you, the riches of your glorious inheritance through the saints, and His incomparable great power for those of us that believe. That power is like the working of His mighty strength that He exerted when He raised Christ from the dead and seated Him at the right hand of the heavenly realms. Have a blessed day, everyone.